You
Thank
mentioned
you.
that. Okay, so what are your thoughts on Puff Peach so far, and like what have you encountered and stuff like that?
Well, from Komodo, I got, bro, the matchup is just space back air. And then from Cop, I got, it's a super complex matchup and not even worth worrying about. So, two sides of the spectrum. Um, as far
Super
as I
complex
know,
in what way? Is that all? Is that all they said?
that's all they said.
Okay.
And like I have to abuse like certain. He didn't use the word niche, but that was kind of the sentiment that came across to me. I have to abuse certain niche things, and it's very complicated. So I've heard both sides of the spectrum. As far as I know, or my game plan is to not trade as much because that's what Peach wants. When Peach has the turnip in her hand, it's about an even matchup, and when she doesn't have it in her hand, it's drastically in my favor. I want to condition with Bear into Tomahawk Grab, um, and then basically when she's floating, I need to stay out of her fair range and not contest it. Um, when she's
You
floating, I
say
should be
fair or bear?
fair.
Fair. Okay.
Um, what else? So when she's in the air, I should be contesting her, and it should be easy. I don't pull it off in this match, but it should be like I don't come to meet her; she has to come down to me, and then I up air her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I have so far.
Okay. So I'm not really sure what the guy was on about it being a super complicated matchup, but it's definitely not just back air. But okay, so basically, this is probably. So I know last time I was kind of going off on Marth Puff, right?
Right.
On like it not being a great matchup. This is the worst top tier matchup in the entire game, by far.
Let's go.
But the nice thing is that it's not bad like Marth Puff is bad, where like it's kind of even-ish and still bad. This is like bad because it's so good for you, which I guess is like, good for you because you're the Puff here. But I most of my experience in this matchup is from the Peach side, and it's basically just like a horrifying nightmare. But every Puff is so bad at it that my Peach has actually never lost to a Puff. Like all the
Yeah,
Puffs I've played, I win every game, but you know deep down that the matchup is literally like 100-0 or like 90-10 or something like that as you're playing it as the Peach. So clearly it's like a matchup where like basically there are rules you have to follow as the Puff, and if you follow the rules, Peach can't really do anything, but if you don't follow the rules, it's kind of frustrating as Puff.
God, I wish every matchup was like this.
Yeah, no, this is the dream matchup. Like this is this is the matchup. Wow, I had 5 viewers, and then when I people realized I was doing Puff versus Peach, 3 of them left. That is how this matchup is. Let's see, where was I? So, all right, let's just go into it, and then I'll start talking about it a bit more. Okay, so one thing is that remember that thing I mentioned last time where like the instant aerial off of the double jump gives you the full air mobility?
Right.
That's going to be extremely useful in this matchup. And if you don't use it, it makes life a lot easier for Peach. Okay, I'm just going to watch it for a second and then we'll go back and see. Okay, seeing some stuff so far. Yeah, you have kind of similar issues that most of the Puffs that I've played also have. And a lot of it, I think, is just like a misunderstanding of like Peach's threat range and like her movement in general. Where like I'm not sure you realize how slow Peach actually is. Like she is disturbingly slow, both on the ground and in the air. And like the most important thing is that like basically she's not actually like any faster than you on the ground if you're just wave dashing. Like, and if you're in the air, you're miles faster than her. So,
Okay.
if at any point you are in the air and you drift away from Peach, she does not have a single move ever that will ever hit you ever. So, Like, she literally does not have any moves that can hit you if you hold away from her at all, ever. There's nothing she can do. The most aggressive, psychotic mix-up that Peach can come up with, maybe, which is dash, wave dash, dash attack or something, will not hit you if you hold away. And that inherently creates basically an unwinnable matchup for Peach. Because basically, if you get a lead at all, especially a stock lead, the match is over. So, because she has no way to ever catch you. Like, obviously you can circle camp on the platforms perfectly. There's nothing she can do about it. Like, at all. Like, it's not even like, oh, there's nothing Peach can do about it without, you know, like, high risk. Kind of like Marth. Where, like, Marth can't really, like, challenge you up there. But it's mostly because if he jumps up there and he misses you, you go down beneath him. Peach just doesn't actually have any moves that allow her to trap you or, like, hit you in any way if you want to play avoidant.
Okay.
Like, at all. Like, it doesn't matter if the Peach does a crazy aggro mix-up or anything. Like, she just doesn't have one. So you get to choose, like, basically that implies every single time there is an interaction, you get to choose that it happens. If the Puff wanted it to, every match of Peach Puff could end at 0 damage for both players and a timeout. Especially on tri-plat stages. But on every stage, you can definitely still do it. So, there's another thing you said, which was that the matchup is roughly even when Peach has a turnip in her hand. Who told that to you?
One of my friends.
Okay, because that's wrong. The turnip actually changes nothing, and in fact makes Peach's life harder in the matchup. Like, the reason turnips do not work against Puff is because this is the spot where Puff is always at. And it's because she can drift in and back air you, or she can drift away and you can't hit her. Turnips only move in primary directions. So the turnip goes either straight up here or here, which means this entire range where Puff likes to drift in on you, the turnip does not hit ever.
Okay.
So, like, if you ask Armada, he will say the same thing. Turnips are completely useless against Puff because they only move in primary directions, and Puff never approaches from directly above you because, like, why would she? You know, she doesn't really have any moves that hit straight down that are, like, good, you know? And she's never going to approach directly horizontal without having, like a short hop at you and back air, which will beat the turnip anyway. So it's like, she doesn't actually, like, turnips are borderline useless. Peach, the only reason Peaches keep pulling turnips in this matchup is because they can't catch you when you're running away anyway, so they might as well. Like, they might as well pull a turnip. It's not going to do anything. So the important thing that, from what the first things I kind of mentioned with you choosing the interactions, the important takeaway from that is that every time you get hit, you were the one to choose to start that interaction. So, like, there's no situation in which you can be, like, pressured by Peach or be in a situation where you don't really have a way out. Like, if Peach hits you, it means you were trying to hit Peach and, like, overcommitted. That's it. It's very simple in that respect. I don't know, the guy who's saying it's a super complex matchup, maybe it's a super complex matchup to optimize to hit every combo on Peach or something, but you don't need any of that. And if you watch Michael Laud, you can win with just back air. And, like, obviously that's probably one of the worst ways to play the matchup, the way he does it, because he's not taking advantage of a lot of situations. But, like, you can do it because you get to choose when you fight entirely. So look, every time you get hit, this is because you drifted in. If you drifted away here, watch, I'm just going to go through every time you get hit. So, look, you get hit here, it's because you drifted in on him, and he just dash attacked. Like, the dash attack only hits this range, and you drifted directly into it. Okay, so now he can't combo you at all. He gets one hit. Okay, so this one, he gets it because you rising back air his shield and then drift back in. If you hadn't, he has no options to hit you. Okay, there's this one where you get hit because you drift directly underneath Peach. Then that one you get hit because you didn't double jump away. So like you do this, you let him corner you, and then you land on the ground in the corner and you get hit. Okay, look at this! Look at how awful and horrible this is. Look at, you just jump up right here and he's like, okay, literally, I know Puff is faring, I know Puff is holding in right here. I want to hit Puff as much as I can. So he dashes, full hops, nope. It's like that, and that's like a situation where you almost feel trapped. You know, like that's a situation where you had a big disadvantage, and Peach still can't catch you at all. Literally at all. Not a single hit can be had. Okay, that was you back-aired him in a bad spot. Okay, you drifted in again. Okay, you drifted into the jab. Okay, so this is another one where I get this opening a lot with Peach, and it's because the Puff does bear, and then they fast fall here to get more pressure. But if you just hit and you keep drifting away, Peach doesn't have this punish at all. And even then, oh, it's this one. Yeah, but it's the same thing where, so you land this back air, Peach tries her best to hit you, doesn't get it, you drift away, but because you don't keep drifting away here, if you drifted to here, Peach has no options to hit you. So like you do here, you still had frames too. You could have just gotten out of the way still. It's just ridiculous. Peach throws a turnip, it's useless. Okay, you drifted right into the nair again.
So I need to be throwing bears and then drifting all the way out and then going and then like looping away from the stage and then just picking spots where I can pressure her and then build percent and then just run away.
Yeah, like basically if you're analyzing like your own VOD and there's a situation that Peach hits you, you need to see, okay, where did I overcommit? Because it's never a situation of her directly reading you, and it's never a situation of her, like, approaching you, because that doesn't exist. It's always a situation where you overcommitted, and then the Peach punishes that. That's it. So, like, the Michael way to play this matchup, and probably, like, the lamest way to play the matchup is like you just back air and drift away. Peach has no punishes. Then every time you're in the corner, you just go up high over here and you drift back, and then you do the same thing over again, and you just do it over and over and over. And there's nothing Peach can do to hit you ever. She just doesn't have any moves that beat you ever. Like, I can't explain in more simple terms that like it doesn't matter what she does. Like, the only time she hits you is if you overcommit. You're probably going to hear that at least 200 more times this lesson.
So do you think there's like ever a time where I should be going in for up air rest and things like this?
Yes, so I'm getting to that pretty soon. So
okay.
Notice, look, when he throws these turnips, notice that they don't do anything. Because you're not directly next to him. That's the only time the turnips will work. And there's nothing he can do here that will actually get you with this turnip. And if he like full hops and tries to turnip throw and you just go underneath him, he just probably dies. So like he doesn't want to get up here to let you get underneath him. And so all he can do is just throw turnips right here. It's like painful to watch this, just because any Peach Puff is painful to watch because there's nothing they can do. Like, you know that like shooting fish in a barrel thing? Yeah. It's basically like sometimes like people just stick the barrel of the gun all the way into the actual barrel, and then the fish like grabs it and like yanks the gun away, and the guy's like, "Oh no!" And it's like, you could have just not put the gun all the way in and then just shot the fish, and there's nothing they can do because they're just trapped. Like, it's like it's just like it's entirely on you. And so like this is like a matchup you can feel confident that you have literally an unlosable matchup in if you do things right. And okay, so that was the basis that I want to establish, that like it's always your choice that you fight, always. and Peach has no way to pressure you, and Peach can only hit you off of overcommitments. So now that we have that out of the way, like, let's talk about the reason why you go for some of these, like, quote, riskier things. It's because if you get up air rest, you get up tilt rest, you get edge guards early, which happen a lot. If you get stuff like that, those can give you the lead. And once you have the lead, the game is over. And the other important thing, so like basically if you get the lead, the game is over. But if you don't have the lead, let's say you mess up a bunch of times in a row and Peach somehow gets the perfect damage and hits on you. You know, you do something dumb, you drift in, she charges an up smash or something, and you die. So now you're behind. And this is the situation that a lot of puffs crumble because they've never had to approach before. And so the way to deal with Peach in those situations is the same way that you would normally try to get ahead. Like, basically, like, you have this established, like, if I don't make mistakes, I should never lose type of situation. But then, because you get to pick your situations, you can, like, make it easier for yourself and make it harder for him by doing these high reward options. Because Peach doesn't have any hard punishes on Puff. So, like, give me 1 second. I'm in a lesson right now. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that.
Cool.
Okay, so basically, like, so let's say you're in this situation. This is the situation where I almost always beat the Puffs in, because they're not down to play this. Like, what they feel like is, okay, there's these chances that, like, Peach, like, basically, like, I hit Peach and she flies away and I don't kill her, and then when she gets a hit on me, she gets a bunch of damage, and then the match can kind of, like, get out of your control, you know? So when you're in a situation like this, the important thing is to remember not to get impatient, because you have 6 minutes to catch up, and, like, you still get to choose the situations, and Peach getting damage on you is not as scary as you resetting her stock, because you have low damage kills. So I can't tell you how many times I'm in this situation, and Peach, the Puff is doing a bunch of bad approaches, and I'm getting a ton of damage. I get Peach up to like 80 or 90, and I'm still at 4 stocks, and I'm feeling pretty good. Then Puff finally lands the kill move on me. I come back at 0, and I get back aired, and then I float, and then they up air rest me, or they up tilt rest me, and then Puff is now at 3 stocks, 90%. I'm at 2 stocks, 0%, and the match is over. Okay. So that's the reason for those quick kills, is that, like, whenever you're at low percent, you can, whenever Peach is at low percent, you can come back. Whereas, like, if you purely play, like, the nickel and dime game, basically, like, theoretically, yes, you should still win every time. But if Peach ever gets a lead on you and you want to, like, come back on her on, like, a stock or something like that, those high reward options start helping, like, a lot. Like, they can just, like, you know, Peach has to work so hard to finally get a lead, and then you can just take it away from her in, like, an instant. So that's, like, the basics of it, is that like, you want to avoid, so to go more, so that's kind of like the generalities of it, right? And now I'm going to go more into, like, the specifics. So obviously, you know, to always be below Peach, you don't want to be above her, in the sense that, like, being below her is usually better for you, but being above her is not necessarily bad because she can't catch you, but it's still better to be below her because you have, like, your high reward options more often. And like the up air, like the up tilt, like carrying her off. And so, okay, so when Peach is on the ground, she's by far the strongest against Puff, because, you know, she can CC, she can shield into a nair, she can, you know, you approach with a back air, and then she does a quick float into an up air or something and hits you out of it. And but so basically the only thing Peach can cover from a situation where she's grounded is an option like this, like she just does, where she does a full hop aerial. And so this is really common that you'll see, because what Peach doesn't want is Peach doesn't want to float here and then just get back aired and then be kind of in this awkward spacing where you're like back air, back air, back air, back air, and then she dies. So by using like full hop nair or full hop back air, it's basically like she's making the same commitment as if she floats here, except for the fact that she gets to cover this whole vertical range. So a lot of times when I'm playing against Puffs, they'll throw like a full hop back air right here, and then they do like this thing where they want to cross me up. So they double jump back air again, using the instant back air to like I'm on the ground right here. And they do a full hop back air right here, and then they do another one, and they go over my head to like, they use the instant back air for the aerial drift, and they use that to cross up, and then I'll full hop up air or full hop nair them out of it. But the cone, or sorry, not the cone, but the area that Peach can actually challenge looks kind of like this. It's very small. And so that's why like when you're here, you kind of want to stay in this range. And the thing is you can kind of play neutral with this range right here. You can kind of like bait her with it. Like you can kind of go into it, and then if she full hops and throws out an aerial here, it's a massive commitment, and you can basically like take a stock out of it.
Okay.
And so like, but when she's on the ground, this is kind of like her I don't even want to, this is kind of like her Fox up smash equivalent, where like Fox will randomly up smash you or something. It's kind of like this, where this is like a really big commitment, but it can kind of catch you if you're in a bad spot. And it's not even necessarily an up smash because it's not going to kill or anything, but just be like really aware that when Peach is if Peach is already in the air, she's really bad at like vertical, right? Because her double jump is super bad, or not bad, but it's really slow. But when she's on the ground, she kind of can cover this sort of pillar area right here. And so I wouldn't recommend like just sort of willy-nilly floating directly over her and doing cross-ups here, because like if you're just kind of in front of her, this isn't any better or worse than being over here. It's about the same. So like there's not really a reason to like heavy commit to cross-ups here, but you can kind of do like right here, and then she might kind of jump up, and then you just cover it with like a back air or something. So like, let me just start this up to sort of show you. What are your thoughts so far? I'm just going to kind of go through this to show you what I'm talking about.
This is good. This is good. I have nothing intellectual to say.
Okay, that's fine. I will keep going then. Okay. So, like, if Peach is here, and then she does this kind of thing, this is kind of the area that she can cover. And so a lot of Puffs, they'll kind of do this, and then they do this. Like, they go like this, and they'll go, oh, I'm going to back air you, or they go like this, oh, I'm going to hit you, and then they kind of just decide to go over her like that, and that's what you don't want to do. But you can do, like, this kind of thing, and then if she does hop up, you get this. Oops, I messed that up. Give me a second. So yeah, if she messes up and then you bait her into that, you get literally... Oops. I'm awful at this game right now. Like that. And she's just dead. So... Okay, come on, Peach. Really? Okay, I forgot they did that. So yeah. So basically, that's the only area where you really have to watch out for, is like, don't go directly above Peach right there, because she can kind of hit you. But if you do this, you can either bait her into one of those, or you can bait her into it and then just get underneath her like that and then hit her like that or whatever. Or just wait here and then, like, there's so much lag on like the nair. Like, let me show you how much lag Peach actually has on like these aerials. So it's like, look, if she's right here, and she's doing this, and then she goes up for the nair, a mashing jump. It's right there. Like.
Oh my gosh.
So it's actually, she's here, and she's just like, and then she can't jump till there. And so, like, this whole time, or here's back air, where she's like,
oh wow.
It's actually, like, takes forever. So as long as you don't get hit by this burst out right here, you get basically, like, a free punish. And so a lot of times when I'll be playing Peach against Puff, they'll be spacing here, and what I'm trying to do is I'm kind of trying to be like, oh, you can't get me, and then eventually they go over me, and then what I'll do is I'll try to like back off. So they'll be doing the back airs, they're kind of spacing, and I'm kind of backing off, and then I go in, and they're kind of like, oh no, Peach is gonna like dash attack or something. So then they go high, and then I move in, and then I'll go for like the nair, because they try to like go high above me and cross up. But you can literally just keep moving back, and none of those mix-ups mean anything.
Okay.
So a lot of it is just trying to like scare the puff into doing something dumb. Yeah. See, this is something that's good against a lot of characters. It actually came up perfectly right here. This is what you don't want to do. This one. Because this is one of this goes in this little cone here, and this is like one of the few situations that Peach can actually hit you if she knows what she's doing. So this is good because this is right on the border, right here, where if she kind of full hops up and tries to hit you, she's probably gonna miss. But it's so tantalizing for the Peach. So that's like a kind of range where you can kind of bait. Oh, look, he goes for it. You can make it really tempting right there. But then instead of getting hit by this, you know now that Peach can't actually double jump out of this until like right here. So you can just drift away and then casually beat up Peach for this. And yeah, so you go for this again. If I was Peach here, I would have 100% hit you for that. Okay, yeah, so here's this mix-up I was talking about where Peach... Wow, all this stuff that I talked about is literally happening right this second. That's perfect. So Peach does this, and you're here, and then she makes this forward motion as you're coming down, and you have this thought of like, oh no, like Peach is gonna, dash attack my landing or something like that. So then you go up with this back air to get around it, and then she catches you with this nair. This is the exact situation I was just talking about. So, yes, Peach comes in, and then whenever Peach does this aggressive motion, just move away. There's no... Because basically, if Peach overcommits to this or actually throws out the aerial, she doesn't... You basically can create a thing where it's either you're safe or you get a hard punish on Peach. But if you move in, you create the chance of her hitting you out of this. So obviously that wasn't... Notice that she throws the turn up, but it's straight up useless. And then, yeah, you get the up air res. This was a fine up air because you caught her moving back like this. And so it's maybe not... this. Okay, so this is one of those situations that I was talking about where, you can take a risk here. Because if Peach hits you with her perfect punish here, she gets 13 damage. She nairs you or something. That's it. And if you get what you want here, you get the up air rest. So This is totally fine to take as long as you don't just take it over and over and over again until you eventually lose on percent or something like that. But this is fine. I actually like this a lot. There's nothing worse than when you try to CC a back air or something as Peach and then you get up air rested like that. So I think that's really good. Notice the look. This is her hardest punish that she has. If you had missed this up air and she had hit you, this is all she would have gotten. That's it. That's all she can do. And yeah, this is just you getting scared of nothing. There's nothing she can actually do there if you... I think you need to be also comfortable with pounding more. Not to try to hit Peach, but if you're kind of right here and you're kind of... or right here or whatever, and you're kind of uncomfortable, don't be shy to just use a pound, because it basically is a free mid-air jump. You get to stall in the air and see what Peach will do without actually using one of your jumps. So in this situation right here, you kind of panic because you start running out of jumps or something and maybe not even running out of jumps. I don't even know, you just kind of panicked. But right here, if you're kind of wary of this and you don't really want to go to ledge or whatever, feel free to just, hang out here and side B once or twice and then come back to the top platform or something. So yeah.
Oh, okay. That's...
So you feel... Oh yeah, what were you going to say?
No, that's good.
Okay, yeah, so he's trying to cover you here, and you recognize that you're kind of in the scary zone right here. But also remember that even if he hits you out of this scary zone, you only take some damage and you're still totally fine. So look, oh no, oh, Peach totally punished me. Oh no, look, this is the worst. This is the part of this matchup that I hate. is that you're like, oh no, like Peach reads me and then option coverages me and I go down here and I mess up and I totally air dodge and I'm in the corner at 80% and like, oh no, and Peach is like, yes, I got him, and does 10 damage. And it's like, dude, you made that many mistakes, you panicked, you air dodged in the corner, and that's all Peach can do. Like, that's it. And then throws a worthless turnip. Oh, the matchup's even now, because Peach has a turnip. Look at how much pressure she can apply.
So what happens if Peach gets a Stitch Face, or like a laser beam, or I don't know what else, a bomb?
So has Peach ever hit you with a turnip anyway? You know, like that's kind of so. Okay, so I will say that the bombs are a little scary, and like all of those are obviously a little bit scary, and I think that but so the laser sword usually won't kill you. It sometimes might at like higher percents, but the nice thing about the laser sword is if you're in the air and Peach throws it up and she misses, you can actually just steal it. And that's... I can't even imagine how bad that must be for Peach. I've never thought about it, but Peach against Puff with a laser sword sounds pretty unfortunate. But the bombs, like... So the thing is like, yes, the Stitch Face and the bombs are scary, but you're almost never in a situation where a turnip will hit you anyway. And, like, if you are behind and... Like, let's say you're behind a stock, and you're at high percent, and Peach has a Stitch Face. Like, congratulations. The stars have aligned in the one place where you might have some form of risk against Peach, you know? Like, like what you can do is basically it invalidates all of Peach's full hop aerials and stuff like that. So
Right.
you just end up with a bunch of freedom, and you can kind of just run around, and then, like... Basically, you can just be like, okay, like, I'll try to get you to throw it, and then, you know, eventually, like, because if you look at it from the Peach's perspective, they have, like, one shot with this thing, right? And, like, they're basically trying to line themselves up for, like, a perfect shot, but they also have to, like, they only get their one perfect shot, you know? Like, this is a pretty rare opportunity for them to get a Stitch Face, and so... like, you can just kind of play normal around it, and, like, most of the time it's not going to be a big deal. Like, yes, sometimes Peach can get some kind of, like, a fair to Stitch Face and hit you and kill you, and they pop off, and, like, yeah, that's, like, 1 out of 50 times or something. Like, that's not gonna actually lose you any, like... That might lose you it's gonna lose you a stock probably every now and then. But it's like, okay, so it's like, first of all, Peach has to pull the Stitch Face. Second of all, Peach has to be in a situation where she's not already behind. Because if she's behind, you're already just camping her anyway, and there's no reason the Stitch Face will ever hit. Because you're just avoiding her. So it's like Peach has to be ahead already, and have a Stitch Face, and have you at a percent where the Stitch Face kills, because otherwise she's just going to throw it, and you'll take 30 damage or whatever, and you'll be fine anyway. So it's like, the stars have to perfectly align for Peach to have that situation, and even then, if you just play on the diagonals, it's not going to hit you. And you can literally just catch the Stitch Faces, if you want.
So, do you think it's better if I have a clean stock lead to just try and time the Peach out, or to keep engaging at safe, I don't know, times?
I mean, if you're evil, then probably the best thing is to just run away. But,
Okay.
if you're having fun, then maybe not.
Okay, so, but the answer is, like, GTO would be just to get the stock lead and then run for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you want. And, like, yeah, I'm telling you, that is what you want. Because the thing is once you have, like, in this situation, if I am the Peach, I'm like, I really hope that Puff just kind of lets me come back. Like, I hope they're really nice to me and just lets me come back. Because, once again, none of Peach's moves kill at this percent. and also none of Peach's moves can hit you at all. So it's like Peach has like multiple layers of sadness where it's like, first of all, none of my moves can actually hit Puff. And in the 1 in a million chance that Puff actually lets one of my moves hit her, it just does a little bit of damage and that's it, and I still can't kill her, and I need to land more hits. And the other thing is that in order to do that, Peach has to be jumping and floating and flying around the stage, and inevitably you will get opportunities to get free damage or a free kill.
Okay.
So, like, if you just go for the timeout at this point, yes, you will basically never lose to any Peach in the world ever again at this if you camp out this situation.
Okay, cool. I'm down.
You're like, nice, that's less effort for me. I don't blame you, man. If I was already maining Puff, that's how I would see it too. Where it's just like, there's nothing. Peach can't do anything. So, yeah, you have to be a little wary of this spot here. Right here. Well, I guess not, because... Never mind. Peach had already full hop there, so you're good. Okay, yeah, here's a spot where this Peach is like, oh no, I have to catch the Puff, I have to... And then they start doing stuff like this, you know? And then this is just like big... Dude, look at that! Peach full hop nairs, doesn't fast fall, and you have enough time before her animation is over that you can react from the ground and short hop back air her.
Wow.
And it's like... you know, if she was at 50% or something, you might just actually take the stock from that. So yeah, this is a situation where things start to go heavily in your favor here because the Peach is getting desperate and you're just kind of getting these hits. So this is the thing, is not to get greedy. So you land this, and then this is a situation where, like, it doesn't, like, hit her enough. Like, if it knocks down here, feel free to, like, kind of go up, but it's too early of a percent. So if you just kind of take that up air and then stand right here and Peach still can't hit you, then like that's the best thing to do here. So she gets this hit, but this is the thing, is like you made the worst decision possible, which was jumping directly into Peach's only move that could hit you here, and it does nothing effectively, you know? And if you're trying to time her out, this is even more annoying because you hit Puff out here and she goes pound, pound, jump, pound, jump, pound, drops the other platform, and you're just like, that's what I got off of getting a hit. Like, Puff made the worst decision she possibly could given the situation. I hit her with my strongest move, and then I wait 30 seconds to hit her maybe again? Like, no. And look, there's another turnip. Notice that these turnips have no usages because the Peach is basically just hoping that you land right here, and then what she's hoping is that you land right here, shield the turnip even though you don't need to, and then she gets some sort of pressure, which doesn't exist anyway, because the amount of times that I've read a Puff landing here, thrown the turnip, the Puff does the worst option by shielding the turnip, I go, ha ha, and I run in, and I float in there, and the Puff is already out here. Is like, it's like too many times. Like, it's just, it doesn't do anything. Like, nothing does anything. It doesn't do anything. It's so, look! Then the Peach tries to dash attack you because she thinks you're gonna... What she thinks you're gonna do here is that she thinks you're gonna land right here and get ready for another, like, short hop back air and drift away. So she's like, aha, Galaxy Brain read! And she makes one wrong read, and you hit her with the back air at 22%. And look, so you remember, when Peach hits you with her best move, you just fly a little bit away and she gets nothing, right? Now, Peach slightly misses her read. Her dash attack comes out like 2 frames late, and you land a back air at 22%, and what do? Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, it wasn't even frame tight either.
It wasn't even, yeah, no, it wasn't even, like, clean. It's easy. And then, like, here, this is, like, the luckiest nair of this Peach's whole life. So this was good by you, but Peach does this crazy nair, like insane 1 in 10 times nair, 1 in 20 times nair, and gets you away from her edge guard. You did 50% damage with that. And Peach's ledge trap. So you make a really bad choice again right here. So what you want to do when Peach is on the ledge is Peach does not have any good options from here that let her get on the stage, but she does have a tournament winner right here, which is pretty okay against Puff. But if you stand on the platform or kind of just hover right here, right when she grabs ledge, she doesn't really have anything. But I wouldn't recommend being directly grounded here, because then when she does this, you're kind of put in this situation where you have to like full hop fair or full hop back air like really fast. And if you don't, then she kind of gets in this spot. So like just know that like when Peach grabs the ledge right here and Puff is right here, what's she gonna do? Is she gonna drop double jump from ledge, get back aired out of her double jump and die? Is she gonna get up attack and then get back aired? Is she gonna regular get up and get back aired? Is she gonna roll and then Puff rests her and thinks she's smart? You know, so she's gonna tournament winner here, and most of the time, and you just need to be either super ready to react and punish it, like really really ready, or just be on the platform and then. Either it's like you don't want to just be sitting on the platform, because then sometimes Peach can get away with like her air dodge up or her regular get up, and you might not react. But just kind of like be on the platform, like drop, and then kind of wait, and then full hop again, like that. You kind of want to be like ready. Remember, because like if you're in the air already, you can just drift right here. Right. But if you're on the ground, you have to kind of like quickly react. But like. You can still react to this, but I'm just letting you know that like when she's here, you should expect the tournament winner. Okay. Like it should be like, yes, she is most likely going to tournament winner there. Look at this. After all the turnip attempts this whole match, the Peach is like doing 800 calculations in her head, and she's like, aha, like I sure hope that Puff drifts right here in this exact spot instead of just jumping one more time. And so she throws it. Oh, she got it. She got it. She did it. She hit the turnip. It did 6 damage. So yeah, and then here's a situation where the Peach is like going for... This is a read I go for all the time, like when Puff is coming down, because a lot of times the Puffs will try to edge cancel on the platform. Peach is not a character you really want to do that against because of her, like, this threat range right here that I talked about. And at this percent, she can actually kill you out of this. So, like, once you're at this percent, you basically don't want to gamble with this range, like, at all. Like, stay away from this range entirely. Because if you're here and then... But it's okay to bait it. Like, this was fine because this was the only thing Peach could go for. Like, it doesn't matter what Peach does here. If you do this jump, you're totally safe. But never, like, try to land on the platform here or, like, edge cancel or, like, kind of come in right here because that's the only thing she can actually capitalize on. Okay, yeah, and then this is just super greedy. That's the thing that's frustrating, is like, this is super greedy, and then she does the only move that she has that hits you, and it's like, well, now Puff can't, like, if Puff, like, imagine if you were trying to time him out, and he hits you with this, and now he waits another, like, 30 seconds for you to come down. Like, if you're using pounds up here, like, pound, like, basically, like, you can't infinite pound stall, because that's against the rules. But if you pound stall for like 10 seconds, no one's ever really gonna like kick you out of the tournament or anything. And especially, you can always use like 1 or 2, like every time. And that'll just add on that sweet, sweet extra like 5 seconds that Peach can just be sad about her life. So yeah, there's no reason for you to be doing like cross-ups here and stuff like that. This is like the most dangerous thing you can possibly be doing, is like trying to like whiff punish stuff like that. If I was Peach here, you would just get short hop and aired out of shield, and you would die right there, 100%. Peach was slow, but yeah, like once again, like there's no situation where you, oh, and then Peach doesn't. I hit Puff again. You're just like bound, bound. Pound. It's like, oh no, like what can she do? And then look, here's the thing again, where Peach goes for this full hop aerial, because this is the only read she can make. If you go high, she doesn't have any reads she can make, and if you go high and she does this fair, most of the time it's like, so look, she goes for this. This is good awareness to double jump here, but I would say maybe even avoid this range a little bit harder, because maybe if the Peach was, you know, Armada or something, they could hit this fair on you. So I would say just be a little bit more careful in that range, like when she can potentially full hop up. Okay, so here's another thing is when you're here, this is just a general rule of edge guarding Peach, is that like your goal should be to never let her get more center than you are. That should always be your goal. Like your ideal edge guard against like a genius level Peach is that you successfully prevent her from going to center and she ends up on ledge. Because that, like, basically getting Peach to ledge means you succeeded in your edge guard. Because in order for her to drop to ledge, you would have had to hit her. You could have hit her here, like while she was dropping to ledge, and once she's on ledge, she doesn't actually have any options that can ever get past a Puff here who's super aware of her ledge hop. Like there's nothing that she can do to actually get past you here. So what will generally happen is the Peach will go super super high here. Like most Peaches won't go for stuff like this. Like that's really bad from this Peach. Most of the time you won't get lucky enough that the Peach will... Most of the time the Peach will float up here and then float away. And so what you get here is basically if you like, basically in this situation, what you should have done right here is immediately go to the platform. Because then you get your full hop, which gives you a lot more vertical, and it covers this float range. Whereas if you're using only your double jumps here, you can't get vertical enough to challenge her double jump. And she's almost always going to go high here. So look, if you had full hopped right here, you'd be right here, which forces her to float, and then kind of gives you the range here to kind of pressure her out. And once again, just to remind you, you don't actually need to be doing this at all. This is all like for fun. Like this is all just for fun. Realistically, you just hit her off and you run to the opposite side of the stage and taunt, you know? Like like that's kind of like optimal. But like you can do this for fun. Like you're risking yourself here, but like you've already won the game because you're in the lead, so who cares?
Well, I actually lose this game.
Well, I'm talking about theoretically. Yeah. So look, so here's the situation. So you really want to avoid going for options that can trade at like percents like this. So this isn't good because if Peach dash attacks you at this percent, you'll actually just die. So not recommended there. You kind of overcommit here. Then look, this is what Peaches live for. They live for this. Peach or Puff full hops here, then clearly drifts back from like the beginning. Like look how early you show your drift. Right here. And it's like, what Peach, basically, if you're here and you drift in, Peach wins this situation actually 100% of the time. Unless, I mean, you can actually just full hop drift back and then double jump back here and drift this way, and she can't hit you still. But if you commit to this drift in, Peach wins every time because it doesn't matter if you nair, back air, up air, dare, anything. Her nair will always trade here, and so she'll get hit off stage, but you'll die. So just it's something to be aware of is she 100% will win that situation. So in this situation, you are still winning, but you probably treat it like you're not, and then that's probably why you lose. Yeah, okay, so this is something that I've brought up a lot. The one move that Puff that is like basically forbidden against Peach is late back air. Like basically never do like a late landing back air against Peach. It's as Peach, you're just like, thank you. Like, thank you. And the reason is that if Puff does a late back air, Peach can float over it and then drop a nair as shield pressure on you. And then once you're on the back of Puff's shield as Peach, you have a mix-up where if you down smash, it'll oftentimes catch Puff, and you can do repeated nairs. So you can go like nair, nair, down smash. That's like normally my pressure. I do nair, nair, down smash. And then a lot of times Puff will get a super small shield or be generally like... like the shield is smaller, so it's good. It doesn't actually get you much as Peach, but it sure feels like you're making progress. So like here's a situation: Peach pulls the turnip. Then you go for this late back air. This is a bad idea, and Peach punishes it. She doesn't actually even get the whiff punish. You're like this. What you can do here is you can literally just shield the turnip and then roll. If you shield this turnip and roll away, you win the situation. Or not win, but like there's nothing she can do. But you get hit by it anyway. So what you do here, what you should always do in this situation... Well, okay. So on one hand, Peach can't actually harm you, you know? So you can go for like a cheeky up air here or something, you know? Like you can kind of go for whatever you want. Like basically in terms of like the high risk... the high reward options, they're high risk, low reward. So it's kind of like, you can be cheeky and you can go for them. You have a percent differential here, it's fine. But she is kind of at a high percent, so you're not really going to get the up air rest or anything. So I wouldn't necessarily go for the cheeky option here. What I would do is literally just full hop away and back air. If Peach throws the turnip, even if she perfectly reads your spacing and aerial drift, your back air will just hit the turnip and you'll get away anyway. So the wave dash here is what you don't want to do. This wave dash, you should just full hop back air, and this back air will hit the turnip and you'll be fine. But anyway, so she double reads you with a perfect turnip play, so she gets her solid 14% damage, which totally means something. Okay, yeah, this is you being very uncareful. Remember that range I was talking about? Like this range right here?
Right.
Watch how much time you spend actually in this range. So you drift away, she can't do anything. You come in here, you're kind of in the range. You're kind of in the range where she can hit you. You're still in the range, you're still in the range, you're still in the range, and then she gets you. So you really don't want to end up in those situations where, like, this kind of happens. And that's why a lot of times if you're right here and you're already kind of in this spot, just double jump away and back air. Like, if she already is directly underneath you, like, and you're right here, if you drift this way, she can bear you, and if you drift this way, she can nair you, but if you just double jump again, you're safe. So I would say just make sure to, like, double jump there. Like, basically, if you can't get out of the way horizontally, and, like, the one out of a couple situations where you can't get away horizontally, if you double jump out of her full hop range, she doesn't have, like, she can't do full hop double jumps, you know, like Spaceys or Falcon can. She doesn't have that luxury. So she can only use the full hop, and if you can get out of the range of her full hop, you're totally safe. So once again, remember, she has to approach you here. There is no world in which she can actually pressure you or make you interact, but you're being a nice guy and you're interacting. And so you're doing these back air. These are fine. I think these are okay. They're better than the late back airs. Like doing these empty lands, I think these are better than the late back airs. So I think that's okay. But also, like, you more want to be right here where you can drift in, like right here, rather than doing kind of these grounded mix-ups. It's usually better to just kind of be like full hopping right here. You can still do this. You have total freedom, but I still think this is a better option because as Peach, you have to worry about the, like, in this situation, if Puff wants to hit me, she has to, like, short hop, drift in, and then back air. But if you're here, all you have to do is drift in bear, and then just get out of the way and, like, be here. And I shielded, and I can't do anything. So, look, you're totally safe, totally safe. You try to be too aggressive, so this was obviously an overcommitment. Peach doesn't punish it, still you get out of the way. You overcommit again, look at where you ended up. Imagine if you had done this. That's the thing, is Puffs get too cross-up happy because they feel safe. But it's like, if you had just done this bear and drifted away here, you're totally safe. There's nothing she can do to hit you. But because you drift in, then she gets the full hop nair that I was talking about. And that's the only thing she can do. So yeah, and then you kind of panic right here. So look, if you had just jumped away here, you're fine. But you kind of go for this stuff, and then that's not good. And yeah, so look, when you're right here, this is a situation, like, it's okay to just roll. If you feel like you can't jump out of the way fast enough, it's okay to just shield and roll. Like, you'll be fine. Well, the important thing is also to roll away. Like, in this spot, I'm pretty sure you tried to roll in on Peach or something like that, and it wasn't really good. Yeah, this roll, don't do that. Just roll away. Peach is really bad at chasing, so it's okay to just roll away.
Okay.
And look, so I bet you probably go into that range. Peach, Galaxy Brain reads your vertical positioning. Look at, she's like, okay, and then Puff will double jump right here, and I'll hit back here, and I'll hit her with this turn up, and oh yeah, it'll be great. And then you're just like, and you back her right through it. Okay. Okay, yeah, and here's this spot again, where with the edge guard, where, like, you don't want to be like this, because Peach is not going to come down right here, because the ledge is what you want. You want her to go to ledge. She wants to get on stage. So if you go to this platform here, it's significantly more threatening for. And especially if you go to this platform here and then you full hop, because if you're up like this, you can like kind of chase her coming down. But if you're down here and she goes high, you can't really like get up there in time to like get her. So definitely right here, take the platform. Don't do this kind of thing, because look, right here, if you immediately go to the platform right here, she is kind of stuck. It's not a good spot for her. If she goes to ledge, she gets hit. If she tries to go high, you can full hop this way and then back at her here. So, but she gets this. So she goes for this crazy option, which doesn't make any sense. If this Peach was good, they would just float over you. But she goes for this. Notice that if you were on the platform here, this is an easy just drop back air punish. Like, boop, right there. But because you're not on the platform, you don't get it. Okay, that was good. So in this situation, obviously, you don't need to go to the platform because she's low enough. So you just cut her off at the peak of her jump. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. Look, right here. You get on the platform, and then look how much scarier this is for Peach here. So the one thing you shouldn't do is don't. So like Peach has a way less aerial mobility than you here, so you can just stay out of her range and defend this. The one thing that I tell people to look for is watch Peach's drift really carefully when she's floating, because it's basically like she doesn't have perfect aerial acceleration like Puff does with her aerials. So Peach will like float, and you can kind of see her like this, and then like accelerate backwards and kind of like do that kind of thing. So like you can see which direction she's gonna go, and if she full floats in, then you can just space around it. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to scare her into like stopping drifting forward and kind of drifting back, and then you can get ready to cover this low option. But if you go in without actually looking like this, then you know she could have dropped in there here too and hit you. And the thing is like, yeah, you don't really lose a lot out of that, but like you could have capitalized on it a lot better. Notice that Peach had no reason to shield there. No reason to cross up there. The cross-ups aren't nearly as good as you think. How do you even get hit here? What do you do? Oh, yep. Peach has this little zone, and you jump right into it. This is like a hard read from his part, too. So look, right here. If you just continue doing your safe spacing here, there's nothing Peach can actually do. But okay, so you do this, Peach goes up. Notice that, you know, Peach couldn't do anything there, but now you do this full hop up, and Peach gets this sort of lucky read right here. If Peach didn't get you with this, you can just up air her, and she should die right there, I think. Could be wrong on that, but I think at 140 she'll die from up air. Okay, yeah, here's the situation again. You don't want to do this. Just go high. Just go high here. Don't bother with... Like, you're basically pretending that Puff is a much worse character than she is here. And you're like, oh, look, there's like this game that people play where like you can kind of edge guard me. It's like, no, you can just go over. You can just go over the top. This is like, you made up that minigame for yourself. Like, there's no reason to be cornered here. Like, look, you can just jump. All Peach can do is full hop. You just, and you're fine. And yeah, so look, you're like forcing yourself to make mix-ups happen when you don't need to. So look, you're like, you go for this. You're like doing these mix-ups here. Obviously, you don't want to do that because Peach can just hit you with the range that she has right here. And then you're going over her. Look at how much time you're in this zone, and then that's why you get hit. It's because you're in this zone. And then you're like, oh no, I'm behind, and stuff like that. So this is Peach's, like I said, this is Peach's best situation against Puff. And yeah, you got two cross-up happy there. She could have hit you again. The cross-ups are like, you really want to avoid those. So this is the correct recovery by Peach, where she goes high. But what you can do here, when you see Peach going this high, is just go to top platform and then full hop off top platform.
Okay.
Because she has all this time to come back. Whereas if you go up this high and you go like full hop, jump, and like maybe even like full hop, jump once, and then like pound here and kind of drift in, she is cut off in the air, and if you tap her here, she dies. And so she might opt for the low mix-up. When she goes low like this, you can just drift back here and either hit her or ledge trap her. Okay. But by letting her go high here, like, this is the freedom that that was like a quote perfect Peach recovery. Like, this is what she wants. That was exactly how I would have recovered. Okay, look at Peach. She has to make her gambles. You let her do the same recovery again. The thing is in this case, she's kind of high up enough, you can't really do anything. So in this case, Okay, so here's this thing is, Peach doesn't want to be in the corner. So once you hold center right here, just let her go this way. Like,
Okay.
just hold this center, pretend you're edge guarding her, and you don't want her to be more center than you. And Peach knows this too, which is why notice right here Peach goes for this. And now Peach is like, aha, now I have the center, which doesn't really do a lot for her, but it makes your life a little bit harder. And notice that these back airs you're doing, once again, are like, look at this. This is where you don't want to be. You don't want to back air and then drift over their head because this is their only threat range. Whereas if you kind of just stand here and then poke and do, like you said, you can do the back air, you can do a tomahawk mix-up, you still have 3 minutes to catch up. You can kind of just, like, pressure her from various angles. Like, you can spend, like, a whole minute basically getting this next hit, and it would be totally fine. So don't feel impatient. Just remember, you don't need to feel impatient there.
Okay.
Here's the situation again when Peach goes really high right here. Go to top plat so that you can... Because, like, Puff can reach this spot from top platform really fast. Like, if you full hop double jump right here, Puff can go zoop really quickly to right here, whereas Peach can't. But if you're here, Peach knows, like, if I go down here, Puff is just going to drift and kill me. But you haven't established yourself high enough up in the airspace, so look at that. Peach gets back. But if, let's say this full hop, instead of landing you right here, put you right here, you'd be in a way better position to challenge this. So basically, look to where Peach is probably going to go double jump height-wise, and then determine which platform you should be jumping off of. So the thing is it might seem confusing to get openings here, but basically, Peach needs to get this sort of range to get her aerials in, or she needs like an easy dash attack. And the easy dash attack won't really happen if you're correctly spacing here. And so she's mostly looking for these type of aerials. And so if you kind of poke into this range, but don't commit by going all the way over her head, a lot of times you can convince her to eventually do a full hop aerial because that's the only thing she really has that can kind of hit you, and then you just hit her out of it. Does that make sense?
Wait, can you say that again? Sorry.
So the only thing she can really do is like this range, right? And
Right.
so you can play safe and then occasionally just barely poke into the range and retreat. And then if she ever takes the bait and goes for the aerial, you get a free whiff punish, which will kill her.
Right, okay.
So don't feel the pressure. You have 3 whole minutes basically to hit her one time, plus some change. And so it's like, you can just float here, you can kind of trick her, and she kind of approaches, you just move away, you kind of come back, you kind of do it again, and eventually she'll think you're going to go in, and she'll full hop nair here, and then you can punish her out of it. But what you don't want to do is end up pressuring yourself into kind of going for like aggressive cross-ups or like that wave. Notice this is the thing I was saying, where like, look at that, you're just aggressively bearing in, you waveland on the platform. Against some characters this is good, but against Peach this is the only spot she can actually hit. And so you get hit, you're kind of being way too aggressive, you're giving her a lot of hits. And yes, that was your opportunity to kill her. If you don't get that one, it's fine, but you don't want to reach too hard. Yeah, definitely don't do cross-ups like that. Those are really bad. That's the only time where Peach basically gets a chance to actually hit you. And then, yeah, you just sort of like stop playing neutral and you just kind of like scared that like, oh, I have to win, like I have to catch up really fast or something, but there's no reason to catch up fast. You still have plenty of time. Peach still, like, even though she's ahead, she's gained absolutely 0 options to approach you with. You simply have you have to hit her eventually, but like, so obviously you're not in your best position, but you don't need to rush. And so yeah, Peach kind of can tell. Look at all those. Look at like, if you're playing to the correct positions, like, watch. So Peach does this. If you're playing correctly, this is like an easy, quick back air pickup. You can pick up the back air right there. Then you do this short hop. Peach thinks you're going to short hop double jump right here. So she goes for this. If you don't commit here and you wait for that, that's an easy pickup. So the thing is you might, when you see this minute 44, you might be thinking like, oh no, it's gonna time out and I'm gonna lose. But in reality, like, if Peach wants to kill you here, she either has to catch you on bad DI, get a perfect read on your bad decision making, or otherwise it's going to take her basically this entire 2 minutes to kill you. Whereas if she makes one error and you up air up tilt rest her or something, she loses her stock. So like, don't get discouraged in this situation because you have explosive options on her and she doesn't really have them on you. Like, you're still in pretty decent shape here.
Okay.
And yet, this is like, you're like basically pretending that Puff can get cornered by Peach, where like in reality you can just jump away here and then be totally fine off stage. Like, you're kind of like scared to go off stage here, but there's no reason to. You have total freedom out here. So like, don't be afraid to just leave. You don't need to like be in the corner like you're like a normal character here or anything like that. Oh, like, see, look at that. Like, she can't even kill you. And this whole time you still have the potential to get rests on her. So yeah, so you still have a minute and a half, but basically you got really antsy here, and eventually you get hit out of it and die.
When she's on plat like that, should I run under her, or should I just go to the side like you were saying and try and go over her?
So let's see, she's right here.
Here.
Yeah, just go out here, because if you join here, she's basically either gonna drop or she's gonna dash here and then drop shield drop right here. But if you just go out here, you get to continue playing neutral with her, and you'll win that.
So if Puff and Corner go out to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I think that's a little bit longer than an hour, but it's about an hour, so.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, do you have any additional thoughts on this?
I wanted to ask you. I sent in the message. I realized after I kind of sent you a wall of messaging, and I was like, oh, that was way too much. Sorry, but so Sheik, when she's on top plat, I asked two about it, and he said that the answer is just to directly come up from below her. I know this isn't related to this lesson, but it's related to the other lesson. Do you think that's the best option to beat that?
If Sheik is on the top platform and she's camping you?
So what happened was I kind of like let my friend see the like analysis that you showed, and he plays Sheik, and we kept playing it out, and what we learned is that like basically the way I was playing it is I would eventually have to give up the lead to him because I'm playing a little bit more risky, and like I'm just trying to like run the mix-ups right until I get my rest. But he kept winning neutral, and then once he got about 20%, he would just head up to the top plat, and then I would really struggle, and then he would just beat me that way.
Sheik doesn't really have top platform camping against Puff. I would have to see the VOD, but like basically Sheik doesn't have good aerial drift when landing, so the only thing she can really do is like shield, and then like if you overcommit with an aerial, she can like shield drop onto you, but like you can just safely space on her while she's up there, like with back airs and stuff on her shield. Like, you can just, if she's on the top platform, you could just go to side plat and then, like, do back air spacing to punish her. And then, like, if she ever tries to shield drop or something and you read it, like, you bait it out and then you read it, then, like, she could just die out of that. It's, like, it's okay. Not, like, Sheik cannot camp Puff in that situation, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Okay.
Like, if you're struggling there, just kind of be comfortable. Like, don't see it as like a losing situation. Like, Sheik is literally weaker there than she is basically like on the ground against Puff. So like, just like try to make his shield smaller, try to get him to hold shield as much as possible, and it'll make it a lot more dangerous for him. And then like you can work your way in with spaced aerials and stuff like that. It's just not a very good position for her. Like, basically just keep playing it and just, like, don't see it as, like, oh, no, like, my opponent's camping me, I have to get in. And just kind of see it as, like, okay, Sheik is, like, pretty bad from that spot, and I think it'll be fine.
Okay, thank you.
But you can send me, like, a clip of it later or something if you feel like you need more help on it.
I'll try it again with him. We play pretty frequently, and if I still struggle with it, I'll send you the clip. Okay.
But I hope you enjoyed the lesson on the game's worst matchup. And like,
yes, I did.
There are a bunch of little specific situations that you can do that will like slightly tilt things more and more in your favor. Like there's like little back air interactions and stuff like that, or like ways like there's mix-ups that you can do to like sneak in an up air maybe. And we didn't really get to those, but like those aren't really necessary. You can win the matchup entirely without those, and those are more of just like style points on top of it, or ways to like be able to lose the whole match and still win if you have really good rest mix-ups and stuff like that. So like, but I would say just keep practicing like the basic game plan, and like you should already be able to beat like almost every Peach just by using that.
Okay.
But anyway, it was fun talking with you, and
Yeah,
I'll be
absolutely.
uploading this later, and hope you have a good day.
Okay, and then can you upload the other lesson we had as well?
Yeah, I'm like a few days behind, so
Okay.
I'll get it up. All right,
Thank you.
later.
See ya.